Let me take you back to when I was just 13. Picture this, a kid hunched over a massive, lumbering computer, no screen, just blinking lights and whirring sounds. I wrote my very first program then, and it was for a game. No graphics, no sound effects, but the thrill, unmatched. That computer, as slow and awkward as it was, did exactly what I told it to do. Every instruction, every rule, if I put it in right, it obeyed. That's the essence of programming, a blend of logic and creativity, turning ideas into reality line by line. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about writing a game on an old, clunky machine? Well, think of it this way. That computer was my playground, my sandbox. And for me and my friends, it became a lifelong companion. The term software, the actual set of instructions we give to a computer, was becoming our language. Algorithm was a word we tossed around before most people had even heard it. We grew up with computers not as tools, but as toys, as friends. There was a kind of magic in realizing that with the right code, you could make the machine do anything from solving math problems to simulating a chessboard. But there was conflict too. These machines were expensive. It cost $40 an hour just to use one. That's a staggering amount for a teenager. In the early 970 seconds. So Paul Allen and I hustled summer jobs at computer companies, scraping together every chance to tinker and learn. But here's the resolution, the heart of Act 3. Every hour, every dollar spent on those old machines was an investment in a new way of thinking. Computers taught us discipline and invention. And the best part? Even now, decades later, what I love most about computers hasn't changed. When you write a program that's truly good, it just works, every time. That reliability, that potential for perfection, it's what hooked me then and what still drives me today. So, as we start this journey, ask yourself, what was your first brush with technology? Did it spark awe, or maybe a little frustration? For me, it was awe, and a road that stretches out ahead, full of possibility. Fast forward a few years. I'm 16, Paul Allen's 19. One day, Paul shows me a magazine article about a company called Intel and their new microprocessor chip, the 4004. It was primitive compared to today's chips, but revolutionary for its era. Imagine the central processing unit, or CPU, as a computer's brain. This microprocessor was like the first time a brain fit in your pocket, not an entire room. Now, here's the setup. We're two young guys hungry to make our mark. The conflict? We have almost no money and barely any access to hardware. But we're relentless. When the next Intel chip, the 8080, comes out in 1974, it's a game changer. Suddenly, computers don't have to be the size of fridges. Enter the Altair 8800, a microcomputer built around the 8080. Seeing it in popular electronics, I remember thinking, this is it. The future just arrived, but there's a twist. We realize that people will soon write real programs for these chips, and we want to be first. 5 weeks of sleepless nights later, we've written a BASIC interpreter for the Altair. BASIC stands for Beginner's All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code. Think of it as a universal translator between humans and computers. It let anyone with curiosity start programming. No PhD required. Was it easy? Absolutely not. We had to leave college. I was 19 when I left Harvard, and Paul quit his job. The stakes were sky high. We were betting our futures on a hunch. But in the end, we didn't just write a program. We started a company, Microsoft, the first company dedicated to writing software for these new personal machines. Looking back, I sometimes ask, what if we hadn't taken the leap? But here's the resolution. The risks we took, the partnership with Paul, the willingness to chase a new idea. Those are the roots of everything Microsoft became. Every innovation starts with a moment like that, when you see a revolution coming and decide not just to watch, but to lead. Let's talk about software, the real engine behind the computer revolution. At first, computers were all about hardware. Companies obsessed over faster chips, bigger memory banks, sleeker designs. But here's the twist in the story. none of that hardware mattered if you didn't have the right software. Remember this word, interoperability. That's a fancy way of saying, does my software work on your computer? In the late 1970 seconds, Microsoft sold BASIC not just to one company, but to everyone. Apple, Commodore, Radio Shack. Suddenly, people could write their own programs for their own machines. It was like giving every TV viewer their own camera. But with possibility came conflict, piracy. Imagine selling your software to one person, only to find out it's been copied for dozens of friends. Software theft, a digital gray market, emerged overnight. Yet, even with this challenge, our reach exploded. By 1979, almost half of Microsoft's business was in Japan. Software became a global commodity, an invisible export. Here's the resolution. Why did software win? Because it can evolve. Buy a computer for games, and every new title makes your machine more useful. It's the cycle of innovation. The more people use the platform, the better it gets. Just like TV shows drove people to buy televisions, new programs made computers indispensable. So next time you update your phone or download a new app, remember, you're part of a story that started with a handful of hobbyists sharing BASIC. And you might wonder, is software really more important than hardware? I'll tell you, without software, hardware is just a fancy paperweight. Now, let's zoom out. Imagine a world where every computer is linked a web of information, ideas, and voices. This is the vision I called the information highway, what we now know as the internet. The setup? At first, computers were islands standalone, isolated, useful only for their owners. But the conflict was clear. People needed to share, communicate, collaborate. Enter networking protocols. Think of protocols like the rules that let people speak different languages but still understand each other. TCP, IP, for example, became the internet's lingua franca. Suddenly, your home computer could double as a telephone, a library, even a bank. The internet blurred boundaries between devices and services. Now you might be thinking, isn't the internet just a mountain of information waiting to bury us all? I get it. The sheer volume, what we call big data, can be overwhelming. That's why filters and search algorithms are so important. Imagine them as the librarians of the digital world, helping us find what we want amid the chaos. And here's the resolution. The internet isn't just a network of machines, it's a network of people. Each email, each bulletin board post, each online classroom opens new doors. Sure, there are risks, hackers, misinformation, information overload, but the promise dwarfs the peril. The information highway lets us learn, shop, bank, or talk with friends across the globe, all from the comfort of home. So, let me ask, what would your life look like without the internet? Could you imagine a world without instant answers, video calls, or sharing family photos with a tap? That's the transformation unfolding before us, and it's only getting faster. Picture your future home. No more stacks of paper, no CD collections, no bulging file cabinets. Everything, letters, photos, movies, safe inside your computer. That's not science fiction. It's the next step on the road ahead. But alongside this convenience comes a question. Will computers make us more isolated or more connected? Here's the setup. Technology has always changed our daily routines. The telephone meant we could call ahead. VCRs gave us power over what we watched and when. But with the internet, the shift is even bigger. Now, mail arrives instantly. TV shows wait for you. Your pocket computer, what we now call a smartphone, handles games, money, messages, all in one. Now, some people worry, will all this technology make us stop talking to each other? I say, not a chance. In fact, digital tools are bringing us closer. Old friends connect across continents. Communities rally online to solve local problems. The home itself adapts with smart systems that know your preferences. Adjust the lights, play your favorite music, thanks to technologies like sensors, which are the digital eyes and ears of your house. Of course, there's conflict. Security and privacy are real concerns. But as password protection and encryption, think of encryption as the digital equivalent of a locked diary, gets stronger, our most precious information will be safer than ever. And as virtual meetings and telecommuting grow, even our work-life balance starts to shift, letting us live where we want, not just where our office is. So I have to ask, are you ready for a world where your home, your job, your friendships, and your future are all connected? The information highway isn't just about wires and screens. It's about us, how we choose to live, learn, and stay close, even when the world keeps changing.